I'm beating every N64 game, and I mean all of them. The twist is, the next game I play is randomly selected, so I have no clue what's coming next. This is the journey to beating every N64 game. Hey, welcome to another episode. If you do enjoy this video, consider giving it a like, as it does help the channel a lot. And if you like this series, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. Last time we were playing more hockey, and this time we're taking a trip through the jungle. Game number 21, Disney's Tarzan. Released in 2000, it was developed by Eurocom and published by Disney and Activision. Look, alright, Disney, let's be clear here. I'm just talking about your intellectual property. I'm not trying to steal it or use it. Please don't sue me, don't DMCA me. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, yeah, this was a game I hadn't heard of before, but also I'm not too surprised it existed. It seemed to me like back then there were all kinds of games based off like Disney, Nickelodeon, Looney Tunes, and stuff like that, you know? So there's really just one mode in this game, the single player story, so we will complete that to beat this game. The game had a difficulty setting which was set to medium by default. There's also some screen where you can read about all the different characters in the Tarzan universe and their backstory or whatever, but who cares. So the gameplay in this, it's a 2D platformer, something that's honestly kind of refreshing to see on the N64. It seems like everyone was all hyped to make 3D because it was the new tech, but the N64 was very powerful for making 2D as well. Throughout each level you run into a bunch of things you can collect. There's a bunch of these little coins scattered throughout the level. You get an extra life if you get 100. There's some fruit you can pick up that acts like a projectile you can throw at enemies, and there's the letters that spell out Tarzan, which give you a story screen if you get them all. And finally there's this image you can collect in 4 separate pieces that gets you a bonus level after the current level if you get them all. Anyway, the first level's pretty simple, just kind of like a tutorial teaching you how the mechanics of the game work, and it's just, you know, it's a pretty good intro. After you beat a level, it shows a stat screen of what things you collected, and we go to the next. Bonus levels, they're not too interesting. You just run through a linear area and collect coins, try to get some extra lives, you know. There's 13 levels in all, so we're going to knock out all 13 in this video. On to level 2. One issue I had with this game is the levels just kind of blended together. Like, yeah, it's Tarzan and the entire movie takes place in the jungle, so all the levels should as well, right? But I don't know, they all just look so similar. Like, oh, we're in this part of the jungle. Oh, now we're in this part of the jungle. But fighting enemies in this game, it's pretty rough too. You can throw fruit if you have any collected, but otherwise you just have this tiny little knife with hardly any range. I guess you could say this game's kind of like a 2.5D platformer, because there were parts where you kind of move in and out of the screen, but it basically is a 2D game. I had my first death in level 2 as well. Where'd you want me to go? It's actually pretty easy to have your health drop all the way down since so many things damage you. There's butterflies throughout each level that act as a checkpoint, and that's really nice. This level introduces a really cool feature of the game where you slide down a giant tree. I haven't seen the movie, but I do remember doing this in Kingdom Hearts, and it was a lot of fun. The camera is definitely not too forgiving during these slide sections though, like sometimes you just can't see what's happening. Anyway, this level's more of the same, and I was kind of motivated to collect as much stuff as I could at first, but after level 2 I abandoned that. Level 3 is yet another jungle level. You know, more of the same, I won't really get into it. The very end of this level had Tarzan diving into the water, which is the first time we see swimming in the game. The swimming's pretty smooth, and it actually seems like you move faster in the water than you do on land. Not really a typical thing in a platformer, you know? It's very short-lived though, and level 3 complete. Level 4 is called Stampede, and this level's way different. There's a herd of elephants going on a wild stampede, and you run towards the screen rather than going left and right. And trust me, you don't want to let these elephants run into you. This level was a nice change of pace. It reminded me a lot like those levels in Crash Bandicoot where, you know, where you run from the boulder. I have no idea why these elephants felt the need to have a stampede and try to kill me. Like, dude, just calm down, let's talk things over, like, you know, let's just walk. But no, they're going wild. This level was really short overall, and I was able to escape the elephants with just a few deaths. So now level 5. Apparently a lot of time has passed. So I'm not sure if this goes along with the plot of the movie because I haven't seen it, but apparently now Tarzan is an adult. You would think the physics would change a ton now that you're older, right? But nah, you still have the same speed, you're just as strong, you jump just as high. The only thing that's different is your character model and all the animations. The level doesn't really have anything to separate it from the others, it's just another jungle level, you know? Beat it pretty easy. Level 6 is quite different though. We get our first boss fight of the game. Tarzan has to fight against a giant saber-toothed tiger. I remember fighting this thing in Kingdom Hearts, so it makes sense it's here, I guess. The game puts you in a decent sized arena, it's just you versus the tiger. Only one of you's making it out alive. Tarzan somehow gets this big spear to use that he's never had before, and you basically whack it over and over until its health drops all the way down. I thought this would only be a boss fight, but after beating it, it runs off and then it's back to regular old platforming in the jungle. So, go a bit into the level and then you jump down a cliff and there's that tiger again. Round 2. The fight's basically the same, although it did seem like the tiger changed up its attack patterns a bit. More platforming after this as well, then another pit with the tiger. Round 3. This time there's this annoying bird flying around, and if you jump into it you take damage, but other than that it's the same fight. This time the tiger's gone for good and level complete. Level 7's another one of those chase levels, except now you play as Jane instead of Tarzan. And instead of being chased by elephants, she's being chased by baboons. I have no idea how the heck she's running around in that huge dress and all the fancy clothes and whatever, but hey, she can do it. Tiny bit into the level, Tarzan himself swings in from out of nowhere on a vine and takes Jane onto a tree and they slide down. Like, do they even know each other at this point? Does she think he's kidnapping him or something? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the lore. So the baboons keep chasing you down the tree and there's even ones running towards you like they're going the wrong way. What the heck, dude? Why are you coming this way? It's too dangerous. Overall, this is a pretty easy level, and level 7 complete. Level 8 is a lot different from anything. We play as, I think their name is Turk. It's one of Tarzan's friends. For whatever reason, all the gorillas have invaded Jane's camp in the jungle, and they're just causing chaos. For some reason, the other gorillas damage you. Like, I figured we'd all be in this together, but whatever. But yeah, this level, it's definitely a nice change of scenery. You get the platform through the camp rather than a jungle that just looks the same as all the other levels. Turk is a bit more limited and all that you can really do is run and jump. But hey, that's what platformers are about, right? The level ends with you climbing a flagpole and taking the British flag as your own. Level 9, we're playing in the camp again, but this time we're Tarzan. There's like a bunch of construction stuff going on that you have to like watch out for, and honestly, this level's really short. It was over in like 2 minutes. Level 10, you know, more of the same. We're jumping around, avoiding enemies and pits in a big jungle. And this time I didn't do too good of a job avoiding the pits, and yeah. We're not going to talk about that game over. The levels have definitely ramped up in difficulty at this point, which I really like. I like when games get harder. It's nice for it to get a bit more challenging the further in you get, you know? The game allows you to save every time you beat a level, so getting a game over is not really a big deal. This level was definitely tough, but we beat it with Tarzan climbing up to his treehouse. Level 11 is way different. You're controlling Tarzan, you're out on a big freight ship with like a bunch of pirates or something, and this level is truly a 3D level. And there's this effect of the boat like rocking on the waves. It's pretty annoying, but I'm sure they tried to make it realistic. Like, I guess it would be like that out on the ocean. So Tarzan just casually murders a ton of people on this mission. Like, I don't know, maybe they're evil, but still, he's killing a lot of people. And I guess he's just cool with that. For some reason, they turn into butterflies when you kill them too. It's really weird. The level ends with Tarzan climbing up on a smokestack of the ship for whatever reason. I don't know why I wanted to go up there, but that was our goal. So level 12 is the second to last level. It starts out with just like a super linear level, standard platforming, you know, but a bit into the level it starts to get wild. Tarzan jumps on an elephant and then starts riding it. It's kind of cool. You just crush everything in your path. Well, except the tree branches, because they kill you in one hit. What the heck? So the elephant stuff's cool, then it throws you off its back over a pit. That's when the nightmare starts. There's like a bunch of those pirate dudes here, some trying to stab you, some trying to throw barrels at you. It just makes for a gigantic mess. They also have like gorillas captured, so I guess Tarzan's trying to save them. I thought it was bad when there were two dudes throwing boxes at me, but then there was this box over my head that just fell as soon as I walked under it. It like just insta-kills you. Like, what are you supposed to do? What's this thing? It's gonna crush me. I don't want to get crushed. I knew it! For some reason though, it gives you a checkpoint past it, even though you died. From there, you just kill more of those pirate dudes, then a cage drops on your head at the end. Again, the cage doesn't respawn. Not really sure if there's a way to avoid those, or if they're just forced deaths, but I don't know, I thought it was really weird design. So, on to the final level, the Showdown with Clayton. He's the bad guy in this game. I think he joined the researchers as a scout, but in reality he just wanted to go hunt gorillas, which Tarzan, he's not cool with that. So this level's a lot different too. It has Clayton chasing Tarzan up this giant spiral tree. There's a bunch of lemurs, I think that's what that animal is. They're so hard to dodge and they damage you on the way up. When you finally reach the top, Tarzan confronts Clayton. But this is so unfair. Tarzan has this little tiny knife and Clayton has a freaking shotgun. How's Tarzan supposed to compete with that? So Clayton doesn't really have any health or anything. Instead, your goal is just to hit him enough to push him off the edge of the tree. The boss itself, it's actually pretty fun. I was really surprised. He can shoot you with the gun, which you duck to avoid. He can throw knives at you, which you jump to avoid. And after a bit, he'll taunt you. And that's when you can throw fruit at him to knock him back. It's a pretty well-designed boss fight. It kind of doesn't fit in with the rest of this game, but I didn't complain at all. Got him! Clayton defeated. It took quite a few tries to beat it, but I did get him eventually, and yeah, it shows a congratulations screen, and then it says you should try it on the hard difficulty, which, yeah, we're not doing that. So yeah, there you have it, my journey to beating Disney's Tarzan. Going in, I kind of expected either a really bad game or just a decent game, and a decent game is what we got. It's kind of fun, you know, nothing super special. If you had it lying around, I'd say it's worth a play, but not something I'd go out of my way to get and play, you know? The levels, they're pretty well designed, the physics aren't too bad, and the final boss is definitely the best part. It's fairly tough, and actually I would imagine if you wanted to do a 100% run, that would be insane to do. I gave it a 5 out of 10 for enjoyability and a 5 out of 10 for difficulty. It was just kind of average. But yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy the video, consider giving it a like, as it does help the channel a lot. And if you like this series, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. But yeah, thanks for watching, and here's a sneak peek at what is coming next. 287 games now. One day Yoshi's Story will be picked. Let's see what we get. 260. What's with all these late games? The next Vigilante 8 game. So we're playing Vigilante 8 from 1999. I guess that's a driving game? Not sure. I've never really heard of it.